What up, good people? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Back at it. It's the Wrap Up Podcast, episode 11. I got it right? Alright, 11.
Yeah, you good?
What's going on, man?
Holding home, man. Can't complain, man.
I dig it. So, man, I don't know. I'm excited right now. We just watched. Well, we didn't get a chance to watch it. We caught a couple of ends of the clips because they didn't show the game. But Derrick Rose just dropped a 50 piece.
50.
Shout out to that man. He got a little emotional. It was an emotional time. I thought it was dope. It's good for basketball. Our Bulls dropped a close one. That was tough to watch.
Next topic.
Yeah. We ain't gonna bore y'all with too much basketball. We can talk this all day. But today, man, let's jump off into it. Your president. He out here wilding again. And you know, this is a common, it's a relatively common occurring theme when it comes to him. He's always doing something brash and outlandish. Something that makes us say, how the hell did he get in office? But, you know, it is what it is. It do. It definitely does. Yeah, but he's a lot of that too, so we wondering why he ain't walked yet. But, you know. But he tends to piss off not a lot of people, truthfully. He pisses off a lot of people, but he tends to be a magnet for pissing off a lot of celebrities all of a sudden. Well, I ain't gonna say all of a sudden, but he's definitely doing his fair share of pissing off celebrities. It looks like Pharrell,
Yeah.
the genius Pharrell Williams is the newest person who he's pissed off. And for y'all who don't know, Pharrell sent this man a cease and desist letter for using the song "Happy."
But not just. Go ahead.
Okay. So not for using the song "Happy,"
Yeah.
for the context in which he used it and the time in which he used it. So there was a mass shooting in Pennsylvania. Mass shooting in Pennsylvania, and Trump decided to use "Happy." I don't know. It's really odd to me. Why? Who are his people who are around him? Nobody said, you know what, this is probably not a good look.
Yeah.
Or this isn't the correct time for this. I'm not looking for answers. I'm just because it's inexplicable. It's unexplainable.
That's just someone that doesn't have his hands to the pulse of what's going on out here
at all. And that's the issue. You can't be the leader of the free world and not have your hand on the pulse of what your people need, what they want, what they're feeling, you know? Or even, okay, so let me backtrack that a little bit. Even if you personally don't have the pulse of the people who you have around you should have the pulse of the people. They should be able to say, hey, here's what they need, here's what they're looking for. You should have some people who are helping you, advising you, being able to let you know, okay, here's how we can maneuver this, you know, so you don't look like such a jackass all the time.
Yeah, but that's also easier said than done. You got a man that's worth over $1 billion, you know what I mean? And he has a stern attitude on top of all of that. So I'm pretty sure everybody in the cabinet walking, you know, scared to put their cup on a saucer. If they shake that, they out of there, man. So
when it comes down to it, what's more important, your individual position or the path that this man is leading the entire country down?
So by the rate of what we're seeing things, it's individual position.
So yeah, I mean,
and that's
the issue.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. If you're more so worried about your individual position and not the path in which he's leading the nation down, then that's the problem.
And let's put it this way. We can even put it into this context. This is those people's jobs, their careers.
Yeah.
So they have a boss that they can't stand. If we have that same situation, what's the chances of us walking off a job without anything lined up? So sometimes you're just in a spot because you're in a spot.
True, that is very true. But now we're looking at let's put it into context. This is a person who calls the shots and who can change the outlook for billions of people. Right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, if you don't like your job, if you don't like the person at your job, if you don't like the way that your boss is maneuvering, how many people is it going to affect? Maybe it may affect the demographic at your job. It'll affect that population, and maybe it'll affect their performance and how well that company does, or how well your division or your department does. As opposed to this man, his decisions are affecting the livelihood.
That's true.
Of millions of Americans.
I got nothing to say about that. You're right.
You know, so that's the perspective that I put it in. I mean, because you're right. If it's a lot of people who are sitting out there at a job that they don't like, and they're not going to speak up to their boss and say, you know what, I don't like the way you're doing this, boss, because you know, such and such and such. And then they say, okay, cool. If you don't like it, you're fired. You're out of here. And that's exactly what Trump can and will do. But if enough people speak up and say, hey, we don't like the way that this is being run, and you're leading our country down a path of turmoil and despair, that's what we need.
But he's surrounded, but
you can't possibly tell me the people who are around him are saying, like, yeah, you know what, you're doing a damn good job right now.
But you got to think about it. He surrounded himself with those like-type minds, so he knew they weren't going to say anything. Think about it. When was the last time we heard anything from Pence?
True.
I don't even know what Pence sound like, to be honest.
Yeah. That's a good point.
The last vice
he
president,
surrounded himself with yes men.
The last vice president that I can recall not really being out in the forefront was probably Quayle. But Quayle kind of was out there doing his thing. If you go back and look at every, vice president, even when Reagan was in office, Bush, you knew who George Bush was.
Yeah.
You knew who Al Gore was. Just look at the last cabinet with Joe Biden.
Yeah, he was very vocal.
We knew Joe Biden's wife.
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And then on top of all that, the first lady isn't what's perceived to be. I'm not going to say she is because we don't really know the inner workings, but she isn't looked at as a strong woman. Even if we think of other first ladies, of course, you have Michelle, you have Barbara, you have Lauren Bush, you have. Even Tipper Gore with the first ladies, the second lady, I guess that's what you call them. You had Nancy Reagan. All of those were voices that were heard from. We're not hearing from anybody in this cabinet but spinning from Huckabee and Trump. That's pretty much it.
True.
In session when something is in trouble. That's pretty much it. So
it's always something in trouble.
So we don't even really know this cabinet the way we know other cabinets because of he's handpicked. Yes, man.
That's a good point.
And I just thought of that right now. Like
That's a good point.
Don't know anything about Pence other than he was a governor of Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't even know his wife's name.
I don't either. I know he had that one gay picture up on the internet.
I didn't even know that was popping.
Oh,
I just know Trump told him to go to the football game.
The halter top, and he got like his. Chest.
I'm not trying to see that, man.
Nah, I mean, I wasn't trying to see it either, but everything on the internet, it just came across my timeline, unfortunately. But yeah, man, I see where you're coming with that. It's it's unfortunate that he doesn't have strong-minded, strong-willed people around him. Even if you aren't the best leader and you have good people around you, you can make it work. Or at least you won't continue to make foolish mistakes over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because I'll say this. George Bush wasn't he never came off as, like, oh man, he's a great leader. But the people who he had around him didn't allow him to make extremely foolish decisions over and over and over.
It's like when you're a coach and you're a first year coach, you surround yourself with vets. Bush surrounded himself with Colin Powell, and Newt was even in there for a little bit. So you surround yourself with people that will make you, one, look good, and two, they're advisors.
Yeah.
This man
he doesn't have any
daughter his daughter is in the cabinet. His son-in-law, his sons, one of them which may not be fully right if you let SNL show it. They're a member. They're at the round table.
Yeah, and of course your kids is just gonna say, "All right, we following you, Dad." So I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough on America for the path that we're going down now, or at least what it looks like is going to happen. So I guess kind of to shift back to where we were saying about, I guess you can say Trump versus celebrities. This man has done a very good job of pissing a lot of people off in a small window of time.
Yeah,
he hasn't.
Is he 2 years in, or he'll be 2 years in January?
He will be 2 years in January.
Okay.
And it
still got 2 more to go,
bruh. And it's rough on us right now. So let's look at it like this. Let's run down some of the people who aren't who don't have Trump high on their Christmas list, so to speak. Obviously Pharrell is new to that list, or maybe he wasn't new, but this whole this latest situation is definitely bringing it to light. I'd say one of the ones that definitely comes to the forefront for me is Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Robert De Niro for sure. His strongly voiced his opinion or his dislike for Trump. What's a
new one? Mindy Kaling today.
I didn't hear about this.
He's Trump is looking to this guy. He's an idiot to deport or uncitizenize, if you will, revoke citizenship from the children of immigrants. So
like something about the firstborn or something. I did see that.
So he's looking to remove their citizenship and deport them with the parents. That's the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
How does that help anything? I don't get. First of all, is your whole reason for not wanting immigrants is they take up jobs that you don't want anyway. Right.
No one wants the job that immigrants are taking.
Right.
For one, let's just keep it funky.
Yeah. But let's run down his reasons. These are Trump's reasons. Let's run down the Trump reasons as to why he doesn't want immigrants here. They take up jobs. They are criminals, rapists,
murderers,
thugs, and they don't have or hold any value to what our economy brings. Okay, those are immigrants in his standards. Yeah. Now let's look at an immigrant child. How many immigrant children are rapists? How many immigrant children are thugs? How many immigrant children are taking up jobs that your Americans want?
And I'm gonna throw out a stat that I just made up, but I'm pretty sure if we were to look it up, it'll be legit. Most of those firstborn in America here, the first citizens here, are college graduates because they're the first to do.
Yeah.
Meaning that I'm pretty sure it's a high percentage of those offspring from that first batch that are highly successful.
Yeah.
Because they're the first one to do this, the first one to open the store, the first one to, because they came in that baby boom era.
Yeah. I truly just don't understand how he can feel like these immigrant children are the cause of the downfall of a weak economy, or that these immigrants would be something that would hurt or cause a destabilization of the United States of America. How? What's the proof? What leg do you have to stand on that says, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and deport these kids because they're gonna make things worse for the United States.
Yeah.
How? Where's the evidence? Where is your factual information? Where's the stats? We need the Carfax on this.
Yeah, we absolutely
need the Carfax on this. What's the information that you have that can make us say, yes, this is a good idea? It's non-existent.
It's not.
It's non-existent. So if that's the case, then I really think this man just spews stuff out and without a thought, without any type of of research or backing or anything like that, they really need to put a muzzle on this dude.
Anything that he can do to project himself into that online social media newsworthy, a buzz clip, anything he can do to lead the news, anything he can do to be that first page in the editorial, anything he can do. Why are you commenting about the World Series?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with politics?
At all. I mean, and it's different if you would have said something, like congratulations to the the world champion Red Sox.
He could have said he could have even led off to the fact that everybody knows that I'm a LA Dodgers fan and bad move by doing this, doing that. You don't have to start attacking the manager.
Yeah, he started pulling out personal attacks on actual players, or with a coach rather. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this dude. I don't understand how you the president, bro. Mm-hmm. You got a lot on your plate right now.
A lot.
And I'm not saying you can't sit up and watch a baseball game, basketball game, whatever. But you take the time out of your day to
get at least 120 characters
to go in on the game, as opposed to what give me something else, dog. You gotta maybe I would be okay with it if you showed me some foreign policies or something that you've done right or done well in office that can say, okay, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and let's tweet about the game because you did this and this already, and you're showing favor.
I would have even been okay if he would have said, "Great game, America. Did you see it?" And that was it.
And that's what I'm saying. So if he would have said something like, congratulations to the World Championship Red Sox, or something like that, or that was an amazing game, and just leave it at that, that's cool. You're a fan of the game. It's America's sport. Cool. That's fine. You go into a tirade about how this is a bad move and it's bad coaching, and you're belittling somebody and their coaching style or their coaching move on the biggest stage in baseball.
Yeah.
Leave that to yourself. Yeah. If you feel like that. I mean, I'm not telling this man to not be entitled to an opinion, but
and he can even say that and just reword it. Yeah. Questionable move to send that run on second. Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, because by no means do I want to come off as though he can't speak on sports. Mm-hmm. That's definitely not what I'm saying. Because we just had a president and before that who was very vocal in sports.
Absolutely.
But you ain't see him tearing nobody down.
Yeah.
I mean, he still had his own opinion about whatever sports was going on.
Whole Sports Center segments.
Yeah, of course. So, I'm not sitting here trying to say that Trump shouldn't speak on sports, but it's the way in which you do it, the vibe that you give off. Mm-hmm. It's like every time that you tweet, every time that you come off, you got to come off as an asshole.
Yeah,
and it's like, come on, dog. How do you expect to ever grow in your position if you're so stuck in your ways? It's
that's
like
right.
You can't possibly think that you're doing a good job or that you're progressing. There's I don't see any there's no information out there that says you're doing a good job as a president thus far throughout your tenure. I mean, if you are, I'm definitely missing it. What's your list of accomplishments?
Yeah.
So if you're struggling in the popular poll, you're struggling in being able to pass any laws, legislations, policies that have bettered the economy or bettered the living conditions for America in general, why are you spending so much time on Twitter tearing somebody down about a baseball game?
You're right.
I guess that's the part that I'm really struggling with. You got too much time on your hand, and we got too much else going wrong in the world for you to be spending time tearing down somebody else.
And that's something that he will never get because he never will have to or have experienced what quote unquote the common man has gone through. he's been entitled for so long that
he's stuck in his way.
This is just how I move. This is how my type move. This is the language of the successful 70+ white man. This is their language. He's not doing anything now but spitting the greatest hits that's been spat in the past. He's just playing that record.
I dig that. But on the flip side, it's just him. I think it's him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We know it's him.
Because let's take that same group. You don't see Warren Buffett out here acting like that.
That's a different cat, though.
You don't see Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
You don't see Bill Gates out here acting like that. That's one of the most philanthropic people in the United States.
But they're more...
Gives away...
They're not conservative.
Okay.
We're talking about conservative.
Okay. All right.
That's a different type of... That's oil money. You know what I mean? That's a different type. That's not, Silicon Valley money. Their money is legacy money.
True.
And the only way to preserve the legacy is to persevere and tear other people down.
That's so unfortunate.
Cutthroat.
That's so unfortunate that is the person who is running our country now.
Now, on the flip of that, I know we have a topic that we're going off of, but just since we're here with Trump.
No, not yet.
How many people that voted for Trump in the last election are actually taking a look at things now and like, yo, we made a bad decision?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them are, because it hasn't helped them in any way.
Yeah. What has he shown you that says, you know what? Even if, because here's the thing, is I don't want to sit here and act like everything is supposed to be great from the jump.
Yeah.
I don't care I don't care what president you have that we've ever had. Nobody just says, okay, you know what, this was a great run from the beginning, unless you like George Washington.
Yeah.
And, we wasn't even a free people.
Nah.
So so then nobody has a great tenure throughout, especially now, not in modern politics. So I'm not even sitting here saying that
and we can even say that Obama did some things that were kind of shaky.
Of
so
course,
it's going to happen.
The whole Guantanamo Bay thing, that was I still think that was extremely that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
That was rough. So you can't. I don't want to sit here and say like he has to have a great 4 years.
Yeah,
that's damn near impossible. But on the flip side of that, with the way that you act as a person, as an individual, and the fact that you don't have anything to show, no accomplishments, no even real progress forward in regards to where we were when you first took office. His whole sole purpose so far, from what I've seen, is to close the borders, tear down the Affordable Care Act, to make healthcare more expensive and less accessible, and have harsher punishment on immigration. That's the only things that I can see that has happened over the last year and some change, 2 years, however you want to call it. No, I'm not sitting here saying that I watch CNN every day. So maybe I'm missing something. Y'all let me know.
This man is just spewing everything that he's not thinking about building a wall. He's not thinking about deportation. He's saying things to get shock value. He probably goes home with his McDonald's when he go to bed at 9:00 and sit with whoever he has, because Melania probably not in there with him. So whoever's in there and be like, yo, we got him good today. I wonder if they really believe me. It would be crazy if I was to deport all these people. Wouldn't it be crazy? Okay, I'm going to say that tomorrow.
I tell you what. Once he leaves office, the TV show that he has is going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be, the ratings is going to skyrocket.
Oh, yeah, anything
people is going to tune in for it. He's going
to write everything.
He's going to have a field day.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have a field day with this. As soon as he's out of office, it's over with.
Something happened in childhood, I believe. something had to happen where he feels something had to happen.
He said it's got to be a reasonable explanation.
Because when you do things like that, something happened in your childhood where you like vow like to never be in that spot again.
How can you be so callous? How can you just be so I don't know, man. I don't even know how to. I just want to go Andy Dufresne. How could you be so obtuse?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Hell, you know, it's man.
And then just to think about it, in the midst of what happened last week in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Granted, you may be happy. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Happy would have worked in California. Wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But you can't be happy at a rally at a place where the community is not happy.
Yeah, and it's especially with what just happened.
You can't.
You have to put in, and he can't be this dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be oblivious to what just happened in that community. And then this is your song selection?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Now,
how?
Even if you have yes men, somebody
got to say this is not gonna fly.
One of the interns, which are pretty young and pretty white, we shouldn't play this.
Everybody knows
we shouldn't play this.
This is PR 101.
That's crazy.
Somebody has got to know, like, you know what? This probably not gonna be a good idea. Let's change the dynamic of this, or let's try to spin this a different way.
That's like going to a Queen concert and playing Freddie's Dead. You can't do that stuff
at all. It's you. There's no logic behind it. There's nothing that can say, okay, well, yeah, I can see why you did that.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no reason. There's no fathomable explanation that says, okay, now this makes sense to me.
And I applaud Pharrell for, even though it may seem simple, but no, that's taking a stand. You're not going to berate my music, if you will, because even though it's just a song, the context of the song, you're belittling the song right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not being used for its intent. You're using it for personal gain, which is fine, but it's so insensitive and so how could you that you feel you can do that. So I applaud him for getting his lawyers involved. Put a number on that.
Yeah.
We're going to sue you if you use this material.
And I'll take it a bit deeper to a more psychological aspect of things. When people are emotional, they tie events to that emotion. So these people, this community was just torn apart by a terroristic act, right? These people just witnessed a mass shooting in a synagogue. Obviously, people are upset. They're afraid. They're vulnerable. You know, they're scared for their children. They're scared for their faith. All of a sudden, I'm being attacked. I'm a victim because of my religion. You feel like you're in a bad place, right? Now all of a sudden, and I'm taking this, I'm coming full circle with this. Now, because of this situation that's happened, and you have your president of the United States, and he comes out and is extremely insensitive to your situation by playing this song. Now you've tied this particular song to this particular situation and to this person.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, psychologically, you are tying Pharrell's song to this event that happened and to the president of the United States. And now let me pull it full circle to see why this isn't outlandish. You watch a TV show and you watch a villain. You hate that villain. Now all of a sudden, when you see that villain play a totally different role in another movie, but because you hated them in a previous movie, you just don't like them anymore. Because of the psychological aspect, because of the emotional aspect that's tied to what they were in that one movie. That's what can happen with this song. That's why that cease and desist letter means something. That's why he's saying, I don't want you to utilize my music or tie this to anything because I understand what these people are going through. Mm-hmm. The emotion and the psychological aspect as to where that is now intertwined can play on a person's psyche.
Yeah.
So the season, I saw people and I heard grumblings like, "Oh, he taking it too far with the cease and desist letter." No, he's not.
I don't think so.
That can totally turn the way that people perceive you, and you had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. Think about it. We was just talking about Power last episode. Mm-hmm. So many people hate Angela Valdez, and they talk about how they hate Tyreek because of this one show that they play, one character in one show.
Every time you see Tyreek.
Now, when you see him playing...
I didn't watch the Netflix movie.
That's what I'm saying. About basketball. And it was actually dope. It was actually pretty decent.
Had nothing to do with Power.
It had nothing to do with Power, but because because you didn't like Tyreek from his Power character, you didn't want to watch the Netflix movie.
Absolutely.
So imagine if somebody who was killed in that synagogue, and now when they hear Happy, they think, oh man, that was the day that my family member died. Yeah. And Trump... punk ass had the nerve to come up there.
You coming out here bebopping with this long red towel to your calves.
I ain't never playing another Pharrell song and another Pharrell album, or you know what? That's the psychological aspect that can be placed because of a situation and because of honestly a very vulnerable time that they're in. And now because of that vulnerable time that they're in, they're tying that particular emotion back to what they saw and back to what they heard.
And you mentioned psychological warfare, that psychological psyche, that mind trick thing, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, Kanye came out saying that he was tricked, duped, used in terms to promote something. Mm-hmm. So we all know that he wasn't well at some point. Yeah. At some point he wasn't well. But how much of this do you think that's his camp telling him, yo, we just got to play reconnaissance right now. You're going to have to say whatever you got to say so we can detach you from this cat?
It can be. I don't... It's hard.
Because I want to know, when did that revelation kick in? Mm-hmm. When did you have lingering thoughts? And it came around full circle, or I want to know what I want him to tell me what his thought process was to let him know that this ain't right for me right now, because he's been going on for a good year and a half.
He has, and so it's hard to tell with Kanye. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still a huge Kanye fan. Mm-hmm. The pros still outweigh the cons for me. For now, yeah, but he's on thin ice. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to say what. It's hard to pick an angle with Kanye. Yeah, because
tomorrow he can go back and say, right, you know, I didn't really mean what I said. You know, I wasn't being used, but I was being, you know, I get what you're saying.
He consistently. He can spin his words. He can spin the topic. He can spin the angle or the format. Right. It's just what he does. And he's always believable. Mm-hmm. And he's always believable because he's always been emotional.
Very passionate.
People, that's a good word. Mm-hmm. When the passion radiates, you tend to believe it more because of... When people are passionate about something, when they're emotional about something, they tend to be more believable. But you listen to people when they cry.
But we should know by now, by knowing Kanye for what, the last 15 years, 2003 or sometime around there.
I'll give you that.
When Kanye get into the rapidy fast talk and his voice get high, that's somebody else talking. That's not Kanye. Because when he get that, and when the monoliths and when the things of that nature, we take our AA batteries and we just take them and just take the foil off and just read the packet, we're gonna see that alkaline isn't in the water. That's different Kanye talking right there.
I dig it.
So we should now have a gauge or a meter when we get high talking fast Kanye. He
it's like, all right, this is time for us to step back.
Yeah, he's
nigga's lying.
He's gone.
I feel you.
He's gone.
I feel you. It's sad that we have to try to differentiate what type of Kanye we're getting.
And he wants to do good. I purely believe that.
I do too.
He wants to do right. He wants to do good. But his methods and his umbrella, if you will, of thought is skewed. It's off.
It's like I said, I'm still the utmost fan of Kanye West.
If you drop an album right now, I'll buy it.
It's going to take a lot for me to ever turn my back fully on him. First of all, I still think he's a genius.
Yeah.
I respect his craft. I respect his creativity. I respect his ability to come from nothing and build something for himself, and then create avenues for other people.
Like I've never understood the theory of being off or through with someone because they're going through something that you may not like or condone. Now, if he was going around here raping babies and stuff, that's totally different. But this is a personal thought at the moment that when we talked about the Bill Cosby issue, separating art and the man, I don't think his thoughts in terms of, unless he's starting to put it in his music, then it's different.
Yeah.
But it hasn't transformed. Many people say that it has, but that's because that's your preference of style.
Yeah.
He hasn't really placed any of that within his music other than Ye versus the People.
Yeah.
Which was pretty much a tit for tat, if you will, for the song. So it fit.
So here, and I'm with you. That's a really good point. I'm not going to turn my back on anyone just because of an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
That's all this is. It's an unpopular opinion. He hasn't done anything to hurt anyone. He hasn't set anyone back or oppressed our people. Mm-hmm. He just has an unpopular opinion. Maybe an opinion that wasn't very well thought out. Mm-hmm. Maybe to his own admission. You know, he's admitted that to a sense, and then he's kind of backtracked on it. So that's my whole thing with not being able to really kind of see what angle he's coming from. Kanye tends to do a lot of spinning.
I think I think he genuinely likes Trump. I really think he does. I think he admires his. If he can become president, I can also. He admires that.
Yeah.
I guarantee he doesn't know Trump well enough to be friends with Trump. But I don't have a problem if you respect his come-uppings, if you will. I don't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. But when you start aligning yourselves with beliefs that aren't truly yours, but you're doing it to become closer to what you hold an affinity for, then I have a problem with it. Yeah. And then with you doing that, you start thinking that some of the things that Trump is the master manipulator. And I'm pretty sure him and Kanye has conversations, and they probably have the best conversation and would make sense to anybody in the world.
Because Kanye is manipulative.
Until that camera comes on.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That's their common thread. Mm-hmm. Both of them are very manipulative, you know? And here's the thing.
And it's funny you said that. I know it's kind of off topic, but I don't know if you saw LeBron's The Shop, the new one with Drake.
I saw parts of it. Yeah.
So they mentioned Kanye, and he talked about how Kanye manipulated him into, cause the beat with the goopy de boop,
yeah,
that was for Drake, and Drake said he had an entire song for that, and he said when he wrote his song and came back to Kanye, he released it that same day, that boopity boop. So he was like, he trolled me, manipulated me, made me write all these songs, and then gave me this beat to go and say, yo, look what I did to you. So that's that whole manipulation. I got what I wanted from you. We don't ride with you, and I'm just gonna throw out this trash because you're not about to use this beat.
I would have put it out anyway if I was Drake.
And he don't own the beat though.
Don't matter. He gonna sue you? People spend. Kanye wouldn't have sued him.
So he Can't stand the man. He said lost all respect, all ties from it, everything.
Yeah, now that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw snippets of
Yeah.
when LeBron was sunning him. What I tell you?
Yeah, it is.
What I tell you? You see it. It's how my son.
He seems like he
my
tries
son's sound.
he tries so hard to be cool to me, man. It's we had a thing. No, LeBron. We had a thing back in school. Me and my guys, we used to call cats like that members of the try hard clique, man. Where they try so hard to be cool, and it doesn't even look cool for those that know what cool is.
Yeah, man. Being cool is just comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
And then people gonna gravitate to that anyway.
Yeah.
If you are cool, if you're a likable cat, and you got something about yourself, some type of swagger, and if you hold your head high, people gonna think you cool already.
Yeah.
And when you try to have to appeal to someone to come off cool, that's when you look corny.
And that's what Trump is doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to look. He know he's not cool.
I think so. Yeah, I think he's aware of that.
But he has the idea of money is making me cool.
Yeah.
I have celebrity friends, maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger, whoever. We don't know who he follow. Everybody that seem to roll with him from The Apprentice seem to hang tough with him. So, so in his eyes, he's 100% winning. He's legit. He told you he was going to be president. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean it's
still ain't paid no taxes.
I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to say that he's not winning. As sad as it sounds, and as disappointing as it is, this man with no political background,
none,
no knowledge base of how to run a country. Because running a country and running a business is two different things.
He joked about running for president, and someone said you wouldn't, and he did.
And he won.
I
think that's the main issue, though. He's trying to run the country like a business. And you can't. Because if you run the business and the business, you take risks.
Yeah.
First of all, running a business is a risk.
Is a risk,
right?
Yes.
So if you run the business, you run the risk of either winning or losing. Winning money, or, getting profitable, or, maybe you're in the red, right? So you take risks. And if it doesn't work, then, and I'm talking about Trump as a businessman, you file for bankruptcy, you scrap it, and you move on. But you can't do that with a country.
No.
You have billions of people relying on you. How many people live in the United States? It's probably it's probably billions of people in at least 2, right?
We'll say, yeah.
Yeah, let's say maybe it's about 2 billion people. In the United
Give or
States.
take.
Give or take. I don't know. And we got to do some.
Yeah, I
gotta look on the Googles.
I think it's more than 2 billion. But
it might be. Yeah. It might be. It probably is. Maybe I'm thinking of something old. But let's see. I'm gonna Google it while I'm saying this. But let's say you take this business, it's not working, you file bankruptcy, he's done that plenty of times, you scrap it, you move on. You can't do that when you have people who are literally relying on you to help them sustain life.
A country doesn't have a reset button.
At all. You can't just reset. File bankruptcy and move on to the next. You can't. Because you literally, you are the face of the people. You have to be our leader. Because whether we like you or not, because you're in office, we have to roll with you. You out there, you every single day that you wake up and you make a decision for the United States of America, you make a decision for all of us, whether we like it or not. So if you think
about it, he's running what's intended to be a democratic state with a fascist mindset. You know what I mean? So he's running the country in the terms of almost a dictatorship.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going. And you can look at history and see that.
I was way off with how many people in.
Yeah, I knew you were. It was like it's
325 million. It's not even a billion. What was I thinking?
They already built the wall.
It's 325 million people.
Oh, hey.
I'm over here talking about 2 billion.
See, we probably was talking about China.
Yeah, right. That's true. China is like what 5 billion of them.
Yeah, but he's running the country like a dictatorship, not even like a business. Because even within the business, you have particular assignments. You have a chairman, a CEO. And most of the times, those that own the business has no say in the business.
Exactly.
Because of the stockholders, the stakes that are there, which should be our House and our Senate.
Yeah.
But their voices have been mute. That's why it's important that we get out here and vote, man.
It is. And it's time to vote. And I'm not sitting here saying that running a business and running the United States don't have similarities. We can paint pictures of similarities in it too, but you can't attack it from the same angle. You can't, because the same risk factor is not even remotely close. You're dealing with the livelihood, now that I know, of 325 million people every single day. We're not talking about gambling with cold hard cash. We're talking about gambling with lives.
Yep.
The decisions you make, the decisions that you're already making, will affect millions of people.
He's dealing with legacies too, not even legacies from a financial standpoint, meaning, I'm going to give my children, they're going to get all this land. No, you're dealing with legacies of poverty. You're dealing with legacies of drug use. You're dealing with legacies of... You're continuing the cycle of all of this stuff because
you have the ability to change it.
The ability to change it.
That's the most destructive part. That's the most disappointing part. Is that for as smart as you are, as savvy as a businessman that you are, you can't see how. You can't. I'm not going to say you can't see how to fix these problems, because these problems were here long before him. But you can't see how the decisions that you are making are just setting us further back. Mm-hmm. That's the issue. It's no way that he can just snap his fingers and all of a sudden, hey, you know what? We got this fixed. He's able to fix, put a dent in poverty, and people have more jobs, and the economy is better. The value of the dollar then went up. That's not going to happen overnight. That's not going to happen in 4 years. Mm-hmm. But what you're doing is we just continuously taking steps back. Mm-hmm. There is a simmering divide in the United States right now.
Absolutely.
We are clearly a divided people. We are fractured, and he isn't doing anything but magnifying the fracture. Yeah.
This is noticeable. It's not like hitting like it was 4 years ago.
Right.
These cats walking down the street with tiki torches, telling you what's going on.
And he's not making it any better. If anything, you're just magnifying the turmoil that we have. You're just magnifying the problems that we have and the issues that we have, and nothing is being resolved. We're not even taking steps forward to say, okay, here's how we can fix it. Mm-hmm. Hell, he's not even acknowledging that it's problems.
Yeah.
He had the nerve to say it's good people on both sides. Mm-hmm. When with the whole, what was that, with Charleston?
Yep.
North Carolina. Mm-hmm. When they had the I ain't even gonna say race war, because it wasn't a race war. It was the KKK had a rally and they was down there running people over.
How do you empathize with hate? It's no way possible.
That's the issue.
You cannot empathize with hate.
And that's the part where you have to really sit back and evaluate who you voted for. And you can't possibly say that you're comfortable with this decision, unless you are just linking arms with the side of hate.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then yeah, you are comfortable with what you got.
Now, many I believe are linking arms with the side of money. We know that's true. He's going to help me keep my dollar and make more money. But what I can't fathom is those that wholeheartedly support Trump. He's not even riding for you. Nothing he's doing is for Trailer Park, Iowa.
At all. And
this is against you.
That was, yeah. If you talk about the reform that he has and the bills that he is trying to pass, none of this is going to affect you. You living at or below the poverty line. So everything that you so rah and happy about, it won't affect you at all. If anything, it's going to hurt you just as much.
Going to hurt you more. Absolutely.
So that's my head's starting to hurt talking about this dude. I don't understand why it's hard for other people, and I'm talking about anybody who voted for him. It's so hard for people to understand, or hard for people to see that this just wasn't a good decision. I can't think of one thing that he's come in and did in his tenure that says, you know what, this is going to help the American people.
And normally you would think, even, and let's take it, even if we go to entertainment and movies, normally when a president or someone isn't jiving right with the masses or the cabinet, they vote him out within 2 hours.
Yeah.
Of the movie. He's been impeached or whatever within 2 hours.
Something.
We are riding to this same song, and it's on repeat.
It is. And it don't look like it's getting ready to go off anytime soon.
Even if they feel that this cat is doing something that's not right, we're in this for 4 years. We had so much to get this guy up out of here, just in ethics in general. Yeah. What president would still be in office with alignments of hacking and doing security issues with another country? It's known that you've done this.
Yeah.
How are you still in office?
And didn't he have an alleged rape charge too?
Mm-hmm.
How do you become the president with an alleged rape charge?
Money talks, man.
Remember when it was such a big deal that Bill Clinton inhaled on some weed?
All he did was put a spot on her dress. And that was consensual.
Yeah, you know what
they was about to get him up out of here.
I was talking about when he was running. When he was running, when you know, like, he didn't inhale. He didn't inhale. Yeah, so it's like, man. But shoot, even when he got in there, you know, he just got a little, you know.
Winky.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
This man said he gonna grab him. He said, I'm rich, I have money. I'm supposed to grab him.
That's terrible. It's man, listen.
Some of the stuff this dude says
and that he gets away with. That's y'all president.
Man.
That's y'all president.
I'm done with Trump, man.
This is starting to make my hair hurt. I don't have the answer, Sway. I really don't. I don't understand how we made it to this position. But I tell you how we get out of it. We got to get our ass up off this couch, get up out of these seats, get up out of your houses, and we have to go vote.
And those that feel that they vote doesn't matter, come on now, we got to get off that.
Voting matters. I was one of them people that said, you know, like I the whole voting thing didn't matter. I am eating my words.
We had a whole conversation about that too.
And it is not just the presidential vote, man. Don't just wait and vote every 4 years. It starts with your aldermen and your people right there in your city. Those are the people who will help build your House of Representatives and your Senate, and those are the people who we need to put in place so that we'll never have another supposed leader like this.
Word.
It's a wrap, man. Y'all know where to follow us. You know how to hit us up. Let us know what y'all think. Give us your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, all of that, man. Keep rocking with us.
It's a Mo.
Peace.